Hello YouTube, it's Sarah and January has come and gone. I don't know about you, but it went by really fast. But somehow I managed to read 6 books. Several of these books were audiobooks that I downloaded on my Audible app that I listened to while working, and several of those, actually I think all but one, are even from the same series. I'm starting to wonder if it's me getting out of my reading slump or me going crazy waiting for the next book that doesn't come out until February 7th. So we're getting there. 6 more days. I already have it pre-ordered. In case you're wondering, it's Echoes in Death by J.D. Robb. The first of which was Indulgence in Death by J.D. Robb. This book follows Eve and Rourke on a holiday break vacation over in Ireland with Rourke's family. And of course, no vacation is complete without a body. This, however, is just a side story, and when Eve returns, she has an even harder case to solve where the murders are seemingly random. It turns out that there are some psychos out there killing people for no other reason than their own little game, and they keep points depending on how a person is killed and murder weapon and such. So she's trying to track down 2 nut jobs. Next, I returned to what is actually the 24th book in the series, I think. And it was actually the first book that I read of the series, and it got me hooked. I was browsing through my library one day, many years ago now, and came across this particular book, took it home, listened to it, and then had to do some research and start from book number 1. What is this book? Innocent in Death by J.D. Robb. The killer is somebody you would not expect, and especially the way in which they kill, maybe not so much the way, but like for this particular person, it's like, how would you think to do that? And then Eve even providing this evidence to her superiors can't get them to see. That's how unbelievable the killer is. You as the reader, of course, catch on and figure it out and see what Eve sees, and that was enough to get me hooked. Then, because I was bound and determined to finish the book, I managed to finish a book I started back in December, the 4th book in the graphic novel series Sword Art Online, and this one is Fairy Dance, which the 3rd and the 4th one are both Fairy Dance. I think it goes more off of the games that the players are trapped in or playing at the time. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I started with the anime of Sword Art Online, so I think it was difficult for me to get through because I knew what was going to happen, at least the major events, although there were some small details and such that I didn't know about and so learned about from the book, but I still kind of found it hard to make it through. But I still enjoyed it and loved it as much as the anime, so 4 out of 5 stars. Sword Art Online is titled after the first game that the players play. They are actually trapped in this game, and if they die in the game, they die in real life. And so they make it out of that game only to find some players have now been trapped in a second game. They get stuck in a game called Elfheim, And so it is up to the main character Kirito, who is here, to basically save the day again. After finishing Sword Art Online, I once again returned to the In Death series. And I listened to, I was about to say read, but it was an audiobook, so I listened to Creation in Death by J.D. Robb. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. In Creation in Death, Eve is called to a crime scene on her day off. She's not even on call, on her day off, because she's seen it before. It's an unsolved crime from the days of her and Feeny, when Feeny was training her and she was basically his rookie. The crime is where basically these women are tortured and the psycho that keeps them prisoner sees how long he can keep them alive. They weren't able to catch him before, and they know their time is limited because he kills 4 women and then vamooses. Next, I read Night Embrace by Sherilyn Kenyon. And really, I guess I should again say listen to, because again, this was an Audible audiobook I downloaded. Night Embrace follows Talon as he basically fights for his city, New Orleans, protecting unsuspecting humans from the demons, who of course want to eat their souls and add some life to their short life. And the last book I finished just in the nick of time to finish it in January, another In Death book, Concealed in Death by J.D. Robb. This one, Rourke is doing a remodel on a building he just purchased and is going to use that building to make basically a shelter for young girls. Except in the demo, they find 12 bodies, or to be more exact, 12 skeletons. Eve must work with Dr. De Winter, who basically takes the bones and can tell you how this person lived, or hopefully give you cause of death. And Eve isn't really sure about De Winter because De Winter comes off as this very fashion conscientious person, which of course puts Eve on edge because clothes are supposed to be functional, not fashionable, at least according to Eve. Having found these skeletons in a building that Rourke owns, of course he is just as dedicated to finding the killer as Eve and insists upon her calling on him to be her expert consultant civilian. So those are the books that I read in the month of January. If you've liked this video, please go ahead and subscribe or check out some of my other videos, and don't forget to share it with your friends. You can also find me on my social medias, links down below. And also let me know how your reading went in January. I'll see you soon with another video. TTFN!